it's good that we're kind of resetting. We're resetting when it comes to certain players and things and the things. So we could just focus on building the culture. I just think there was kind of a imbalance of players between the old school way and the youth way, and I think it gives leeway for guys like me to step in and kind of take charge in the league.
Cam, what do you think of that take from Micah Parsons?
What are you really saying, Micah? Like, hold on, like resetting? Like, that's not a personal, that's an organization. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, when you're getting the right players that talks in code and being in the locker room, you know what's happening. You said some things about Derrick Henry. Okay, we talk about the offense, right? You don't want to diminish his greatness, but when you say resetting, like, that's a little alarming, and that's where it's really like, hold on. We got to get the bad guys out to bring good guys in that believes in what we're trying to get to.
Oh my goodness! And you're talking about the resetting. The guys take. If you do what you're supposed to do, you show up, you meet, you practice hard, you play well, you can lead. Sometimes people think leadership is based on, I've been in the league 5 years, I've been in the league 10 years. Your play determines how well you lead. And if you play well, you practice hard, you meet well, you do all those things necessary, guys will look at you and they'll follow you. When you just talk, ain't nobody following that because they see that you're not putting in what you need to put in, Cam, in order for you to lead. Man, he's a phenomenal player, Stephen. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But he talks entirely too much. And when it comes down to when the rubber needs to meet the road, they don't show up. I don't know who they are, but they don't.
Hold on.
Go ahead, Cam.
But Micah upholds his end of the bargain, though.
Yeah. Pass rushing the passer. What about the run defense? Is he on that?
But he upholds his end of the bargain.
No.
As long as, look, I say it time and time again, the great coaches will tell you, we need 11 guys doing one job to the best of their ability. Not one guy doing 11 jobs to the best of their ability. So now Micah does his job to the best of his ability.
We got less than a minute.
Respectfully, somebody like Shannon is not the only football analyst that talked about Micah Parsons against the run.
Yes,
you know you get to the pass. You know you get to the passer, but against the run. That's number one. Number two, the word resetting is it's the operative word.
Oh.
You're not resetting if you hired Brian Schottenheimer. That's the same old. He was the guy that was there last year, and he wasn't even calling plays. And now he's your head coach. What resetting are you talking about? They haven't reset.
Guys,
same old.
Can I just say one thing? It's not that deep. Like, I think you're using the word reset. I reset every day. You reset when you go to the gym. You reset when you get fresh air in nature. You reset when you shut your phone off.
When you're playing for team.
He's just taking a moment to He's saying they're resetting, they're regrouping, and they're getting it together.
Ain't nobody put no shea by Laporte here because I need a drink right now.
You know what? Come on. And by the way, that damn thing is good.
Right?
I drank some of it last night.
Shannon Sharp,
I
do
need some more.
you reset? Do you reframe? Do you do that during the day? Okay, whatever. See what I put up with? You see what I have to deal with?
Yeah.
Cam, you get the last word. I got
just for you to just say that, like, when you play for this type of team, right, the most valuable
eyeballs on.
You can't just say things like that. He knows that. He's saying something
a podcast
without saying that. I'm not shading him for saying it. I'm not shading him for talking because obviously that would be me saying, like, I would be hypocritical. I love it. He does what he was supposed to do. But he's saying guys that have been in that locker room have not always been bought in.
Podcast event that you were invited to last night with all these wonderful people and John Hamm,
St. Louis
A-list actor.
Talked about the Blues. Let's go.
Kylie Kelsey, who said was number one.
The Queen.
Chris Long, former NFL player, two-time champion. And then Eagles representatives, right?
Tons of there was your girl Brianna Chicken Fry was there.
My girl.
You love her.
She's great.
Our whole NFL Live crew was there. Swagoo, Laura, Mina, RC. I spoke to Bomani Jones for a long time, who I used to work with. It was like every time you turned, Adam Schefter was there. Darlington was there. I mean, everybody was there.
There's like 10 names just now that she did not even mention before.
But what I told you during the break was there was another superstar there that I really wanted to say hello to because I'm a fan of this person. But he was on an upstairs level and I was downstairs and I was trying to get a car to get out of there because I wanted to beat the crowd. You know who was there, CC? Big Dom.
Big Dom.
Big Dom.
Did he have the leisure suit on?
You know it. I could see it from a mile away.
Yeah.
I saw the chains. I saw the leisure suit. I was like, oh, my Italian guy. I wanted to be like, hey, what's up? Appreciate what you do.
Oh, no, the superstar, calling Big Dom a superstar.
He is.
Amazing.
He is a star.
One of my biggest regrets was after his incident or whatever he had last year.
49ers game, right?
I came on our show, and I was like, am I supposed to know who this guy is? Everyone knows who he is, and I didn't know who he was at that time. Now, I mean, he's a god. He's an absolute god. All right, awards tonight, NFL honors, right? And we're going to find out the MVP. We're going to find out Hall of Fame stuff. Let's start with the MVP. On the record right now, who's winning it tonight? I'll go Josh Allen. I think is going to win it.
I'm going to go Josh Allen, too, even though revisiting it.
Makes it really weird considering his lack of postseason success.
All right, what about Coach of the Year?
This one's tougher.
Dan Campbell?
That's where I was going to go, too. The Lions had an unbelievable year. So many
All
injuries.
the injuries on the defensive side
Totally.
of the ball. I'm going to go Dan Campbell.
Kevin O'Connell, too, in the mix.
That's where my mind was going, was Kevin O'Connell. But
What he did with Darnold.
I think you're probably right.
But you're going to give him Coach of the Year over the guy who won the division, considering and beat them decisively
with everything on the line.
Yeah, not once but twice.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Know.
Yeah, I think
they're voted on right after the regular season, or the votes have to be in right after the regular season before the postseason here. All right, the other thing is the Hall of Fame stuff. And your former teammate Eli Manning is one of the finalists, and of course he is going to be with us in about a half hour, 40 minutes or so, which is awesome. What's the argument against him? Like, how is it not obvious that he's going to get in?
I don't understand.
I think it's the regular season record. Regular season record. He led the league in picks once upon a time. I think those are the pieces that people hold against him. But when you look at the postseason runs that he's had, I mean, beating Tom Brady not once but twice in the big game when the New England Patriots were known as the greatest modern-day dynasty that we've seen in NFL history. I don't know, man. I got to go with Eli Manning and what he was able to do in terms of being at his best when his best was required. Competitive greatness has to matter when we talk about immortalizing you and putting you in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And, Smalls, I can't get past the two iconic throw-in catches that Eli Manning was a part of in Super Bowl 42. It's the David Tyree play. And then in Super Bowl 46, it's Manning to Manningham. Mm-hmm. The fact that he was a part of those particular plays at that time in the game that led to the team ultimately winning, I got to give him the nod. He absolutely deserves full credit for being able to do what he did. And then, of course, the 2007 run, going on the road for every single playoff game, and that culminating in handing the 18-0 New England Patriots a defeat. The guy is a surefire first ballot Hall of Famer. He lived up to being the number one overall pick.
Yeah, he did.
Let me play out a hypothetical here, okay? Let's say Eli Manning had the exact same numbers for the exact same amount of years, won the exact same amount of Super Bowls, but those Super Bowls were against the Chargers and the Steelers. So not the Patriots, not the undefeated Patriots, not Brady, and not his brother. Let's say they were against the Chargers and the Steelers, both who were good during the course of the time, both with the two peers he went against in the draft, I guess, if you want to look at it that way, with Roethlisberger and Rivers. His career was exactly the same, but two Super Bowls against two different teams. Is Eli Manning getting in the Hall of Fame tonight?
I think so.
Still a two-time Super Bowl champ.
I think that's the thing, right? Like you gotta go in a deep dive to find a quarterback that was the starter that won two championships that's not in the Hall of Fame. Like that's not easy to do. I know there are a couple that are out there, but yeah, Eli Manning was not just a passenger on a really stacked team. This guy was the engine. He was the catalyst for all of the success that the New York Giants had. When you think about those championship teams in 2007 and 2011, you think about Eli Manning and you think about the pass rush.
Yep.
Those are the two things.
Of course.
So, I mean, he deserves his credit. He deserves his flowers. It's not as if Eli Manning is not deserving. Now, I get it. Having a 500 record as a starting quarterback is not flashy, and there have been some years where Eli Manning certainly underwhelmed with his performance. But overall, on the whole, when you consider his durability, being healthy, his consecutive game started streak, I mean, when you consider the pressure of playing in New York City.
Good point.
And having to deal with that, being under the microscope and handling that with class.
After being the number one pick.
Exactly. After being the number one pick, and how that worked out in terms of him forcing his way from the Chargers to the New York Giants.
Totally.
This guy has done a really great job of being able to uphold the Manning name. We call it the first family of football for a reason. And you got to give Eli Manning full credit for what he was able to do. You can make an argument that Eli Manning played better in his 2 Super Bowl wins than his brother Peyton Manning did in his.
Based on everything you just said, 2-time Super Bowl winner, big market QB, number 1 pick overall. Jim Plunkett's not in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And he played.
But that's my point. You got to do a deep dive to find guys that have won multiple championships as the starting quarterback that aren't in the Hall of Fame.
He's the only. Jim Plunkett's the only one that.
They're the outliers. You know what I'm saying? But that's where you're going.
Right. I believe. Let's not get it twisted. I believe Eli Manning should be in and will get in tonight. I also believe that Eli Manning's opponents help him.
Of course.
A weird argument. If Kendrick Lamar had every song he currently has, but it wasn't about Drake, I don't know that he's considered as big as he is.
Oh, no. Wait a minute now.
Come on.
Wait a minute.
Not like us. With Drake.
Mad City.
I'm just saying. I think the opponent matters.
I can't go with you on that one.
You don't think the opponent matters?